Hi everybody, my name is Liz Rivera. I'm the Gem State Medium. Welcome back. The end was very imminent for my mother-in-law. So we threw some stuff in a bag and we headed to Utah. Um, when we got there, the hospice had set up and a bed in the room and a hospice bed, things like that. And so it was a matter of waiting. And my mother-in-law was 4 months shy of her 90th birthday. So everybody kind of knew it was coming. She had a wonderful long life. So it was just a matter of waiting, keeping her comfortable, and being there for her. I guess I need to explain a little bit. So my husband's sister, Carrie, passed away several years ago from cancer. So my mother-in-law, Gail, had lost a child before. She was in her late 50s when she passed away, but still very young. So the reason I'm telling you that is because of some of the experiences I had this weekend. And it was very poignant. So we had walked in and my mother-in-law recognized her son and smiled, and Carrie's daughter walked in the room at the same time, and she is an adult woman and again looks similar to Carrie, her mother. Well, when she walked in, Gail's eyes opened, they got wider. She looked around the room. She has 3 children, my husband and the 2 girls. So it was kind of interesting because her eyes widened and she smiled, even though she had been almost just not there anymore. But she smiled when she saw the 3 of them. And my husband looked at his niece and said, "Oh my gosh." And he even welled up a little bit and said, "I thought you were Carrie for a minute." Like for an instant, I thought that's who it was. You look so much like your mother. And my immediate thought had been that I think she probably did see, for an instant, all 3 of the siblings there through Carrie's daughter's, her face and all of that. So that was a very poignant moment. But at that moment when Carrie's daughter had walked in, Gail's granddaughter had walked in, and Craig and I had just walked in, what I saw around her bed was, I tried to explain to Kim, who is Craig's other sister, it was like if you took a pin light, very fine pin light with like a neon sign white color, just these little zips going around the room. It was like this burst of energy of all these little things going around. And especially when her daughter had walked into the room, the niece. And so it was really cool because at that moment I knew that all the family had gathered, not just from the living side, but also from the other side. The other thing that I thought was really interesting was, we sat down because this was a hospice bed that was set up in a bedroom that already had a bed. So much of our time we would sit on the bed, a futon sort of bed, which was set up like a couch. So we sat there much of the time. And as we sat there after we got there that first full day, I would see those white streams going all over the place. And it was, really quite a sight to see. I was just kind of mesmerized by that energy of the other side being there, just kind of that in between, you know what I mean? The following day, it was pretty quiet and I wasn't seeing all the lights and things in the room. Her breathing changed a little, well, quite a bit, and that next following day. And my husband and his sister gathered around their mom, and they were comforting her and telling her, you know, that it's okay and loving on her and all of those things. And my sister-in-law looked at me and said, "Do you see anything now?" Because we were thinking it was about time. And I didn't. I didn't see anything. It was just still in the room. I didn't feel any changes. I hadn't seen anything for the day. So I was even questioning myself, and to be completely honest, almost a little maybe embarrassed or feeling like I was letting them down by not seeing anything at the moment. I'm just sharing my honest feelings at the, that I was feeling at the time. And, that's just the way it went all day until the daughter who had passed away, Carrie, her daughter and husband showed up to be with her. As soon as those two people showed up, all of a sudden, out of the blue, those lights started going. That energy all over, the zigzags. And, I was trying to explain to Kim that it almost felt like it reminded me of, yes, one, the pin lights, but also, when you see fireworks, and every once in a while they have those fireworks that, they explode, and then you have the zip, 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 little lights that are going off. That's what it was like, was the zips of these lights. And as soon as those two walked in that were so close with Carrie, the daughter and the husband, they walked in, those little lights started. And as I scooted out of the way to give them more room and to leave the room, I looked over and off to the side where the hospital table, the one that you could roll over to the bed or whatever. As soon as I looked over as I was turning to walk out of the room to give them room to be able to get in, I saw the white, the form of a person, and I am assuming it was Carrie. Just because it was there as soon as her daughter walked in and her husband. So I thought that was pretty cool and very indicative of it actually, it cemented to me my feelings that it was Carrie that was there waiting for Mom to pass over. So she was there for her. Like I said, I was leaving the room, and so I went downstairs. And what was interesting was that even once I went downstairs this second day, which was Sunday, downstairs in the living room while everyone was upstairs with my mother-in-law, I would see things even downstairs, the zips and just that energy kind of the other side. It's it was really cool to witness the other side being so close and our loved ones being so close. I know that doing readings, I get a lot of people asking me, well, will they still come and see me or be there for me if I pass away? I wasn't the same religion, or I wasn't, I don't think I'm worthy of being able to go to this place or that place, or somebody would come for me. And when I say not worthy, I'm not talking about anybody that has done anything horrible, like murder or extreme atrocities. Like, that's not it. I think sometimes people get hung up on, I didn't go to church enough, I didn't pay enough, to the church, or I didn't go as many times as I should have. I may have sworn, or I was drinking coffee, or I was drinking some alcohol. Like, those aren't big things. And from what I have seen, loved ones still come to collect you from the other side and help cross you over. And it's very comforting to me. And so if you're out there and you've ever wondered, if I stopped going to church, will they still come and help me cross it over? Yes, they're your loved ones. They're your family. Of course they'll be there for you. And the misgivings that, even if you were arguing or over something dumb and you weren't quite getting along, from the other side, I think you kind of have that from what I've seen, that reckoning and that understanding of what you may have done to hurt people on this side, and and so you kind of make amends. At least that's what it seems like, because people from the other side come to help those cross over. And I say that because from everything I know, and this is again a little bit personal, so I'm just going to tell you because I think people, maybe it will provide some comfort. When my sister-in-law Carrie passed over, her and her father were not seeing eye to eye right at that moment. And, Dad did some things that he wasn't very sensitive about. Like, he didn't show up when he was supposed to, and it really hurt her feelings. And so she was upset, and there was a whole thing. Apparently, I wasn't around for it, but apparently it really hurt her feelings. He had passed on first before Carrie passed. So when she was going through the cancer treatments and things were getting better, and everybody had so many high hopes that she was going to be better, I saw her father twice. I told my husband, I said, I keep seeing your dad. I think he's here for Carrie. And immediately my husband said, no, I don't want to hear it. She's doing better. She's fine. And I said, okay, I'm sorry. And I felt really bad. I had said something. And within a few weeks, she had passed. I think it was not even a few weeks. It was like a few days. He was called to Utah and went, and she passed away. So for whatever faults we may have, for anything that we have our petty differences, and not that was petty, but it was sincere hurt feelings, they come back, they cross over. I mean, that's silly stuff, in the grand scheme of things. So I just want you all to know that they do come back and they do help us cross over regardless. That love that we have for our family members is always there. Once, that Monday that she passed, things were again kind of quiet until everybody got there, and then I could see all this stuff. It was almost like when the family on this side gathered, the family on the other side was excited and kind of let me know that they were also there. And it just kind of continued that day that way. Now, towards the end, her breathing became very, kind of shallow, and I had walked downstairs for a minute, and I tried to give my husband and his sister and, that immediate family, their space and time. And, I went up, and when all that was happening, the lights just kind of diminished, and it was quiet again, and the energy shifted, and the room felt different when she passed. Now, after she passed, I really, tried to scoot out of the way, and I went back downstairs and gave them time. What was interesting was that I had just barely gone downstairs and sat down and kind of taking in everything that had happened. And Gail's great granddaughter, the children of Gail were, and granddaughters and everybody, they were up there. That's when the great granddaughter was only 5 in her little cute light green sundress, and apparently she had fallen on her bike a while ago, and her little black eye right there from when she had fallen, and her little messy ponytail, but she just came, just so sweet and innocent, came popping back in and said, oh, come outside and see, there's a rainbow, come see the rainbow. And went outside, and sure enough, there was a rainbow. you know, it was just one thing after the other to let you know she had crossed over, and the signs were wonderful. Um, you know, we were exhausted. We drove home, we got here, and one more sign, which we thought was great and was great for my husband, who's really having a hard time. We got home and he had been outside for a minute, and he came back in and he said, the hummingbirds are here. We had gone all summer not seeing hummingbirds. We've got a million flowers, lots of plants, and a great, you know, tropical looking kind of tree outside of our house. And we hadn't seen any hummingbirds this year, and we thought, that is so odd. We haven't seen any. Anyway, he comes back and he goes, there are 4 hummingbirds out here, and they're just circling and flying. And you know, he said, it's a sign, you know, she is letting me know she's okay, and the world's beautiful, and to carry on, everything's going to be okay. So we had lots of signs, and it was, you know, although you hate to see your family members, you know, pass and be gone for our own selfish wants and needs, because we will miss them. You know, I think they do everything they can to let you know they're okay on the other side, and they'll stop in and see you. They'll leave you signs and messages. Just pay attention. When we were all sad, it took the 5-year-old to come in and say, look at the rainbow. So for what that's worth, I hope you guys can find comfort the next time somebody that you love has to pass over and we're left feeling sad. So there's more out there, and we continue, and it's going to be okay. So I will talk to you guys all later. I've got so much stuff to do to catch up on, you know, our unexpected 4 or 5 days away. So I'll talk to you later. Till next time. Bye.